Day 2 of the federal trial against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs unfolded like a high-stakes thriller. Inside the courtroom, the mood was electric yet grim, as the prosecution's star witness Cassie Ventura took the stand. A woman once silent in the shadows of hip-hop royalty was about to alter the course of the trial, and perhaps the legacy of one of the industry's most powerful figures. But no one, not even Diddy himself, was prepared for the storm she would unleash. A world watched as Diddy's carefully maintained empire began to tremble. What happened that day wasn't just legal testimony, it was a reckoning.
Cassie Ventura met Diddy at 19. He was a titan in the music world, and she was a hopeful young model and aspiring singer. Their relationship soon turned romantic, public, and heavily entangled with business. Diddy signed Cassie to Bad Boy Records, offering her the dream of a music career. To outsiders, it looked like a fairy tale. In reality, it was a controlled environment masked in luxury. Diddy, the kingmaker, wore suits like armor and smiled like a man with nothing to hide. His empire expanded into fashion, media, and spirits, earning him the title of a billionaire businessman. But behind closed doors, Cassie now claimed there was a darker reality.
What made this trial monumental wasn't just the accusations. It was the stunning disparity between Diddy's public image and what Cassie alleged happened in private. Emotional and physical abuse, surveillance, manipulation, and sexual coercion. On day 2, she began to unveil that secret world. Cassie entered the courtroom wearing a form-fitting brown dress. Her pregnancy was visible, her expression calm but focused. She made no eye contact with Diddy. The room fell silent. He would tell me what to wear, how to act, what lighting to use in the room, she began. Her voice was soft, but every word struck with precision. The room leaned in as she explained the concept of the freak-offs, a term Diddy allegedly used to describe voyeuristic sexual encounters he directed, involving Cassie and other men.
She admitted to going along with it at the time, saying, "I was 21, 22, I didn't know any better, I just wanted to please him." At one point, when asked if she ever enjoyed the freak-offs, Cassie choked up. "I did," she whispered, "but only because I got to spend time alone with him. I loved him." That moment peeled back the psychological layers. This wasn't just physical abuse. It was emotional warfare, control masquerading as affection. When court began that morning, Diddy had walked in like a man heading to a meeting, surrounded by high-powered attorneys and exuding billionaire confidence. That facade didn't last. Within 30 minutes of Cassie's testimony, his demeanor unraveled. He fidgeted with his tie, then his cufflinks. Witnesses saw him passing frantic notes to his lawyers. One court reporter described it as watching someone realize they've lost control of the narrative for the first time in their life.
Cassie spoke with unwavering resolve. Meanwhile, Diddy shook his head, mouthed, "Not true," and visibly panicked when she presented text messages and emails, proof he never expected to surface. He looked physically ill. His team whispered desperately around him, trying to contain the emotional fallout. But Cassie was just getting started. Cassie's attorney projected years' worth of evidence onto courtroom screens. Emails where Diddy apologized after violent episodes. Messages implying coercion, even payment offers for silence. One particularly damning message read, "My lawyer can draft the paperwork, $2 million, clean break. No talk about the past 5 years." Then came photos Cassie had taken of herself. Bruised arms, a swollen lip, red marks around her neck. The jury reacted with gasps. One juror covered her mouth. Another looked away. But the most devastating moment was when Cassie revealed audio recordings of Diddy threatening her family. As the court played them, Diddy exploded.
The man who once ruled boardrooms and red carpets had lost control of his temper, of the courtroom, and perhaps of his entire legacy. Cassie didn't just relay facts, she relived trauma. She described being tracked by software Diddy allegedly installed on her phone. She described the slow isolation from her friends and the fear that consumed her. "He was all I had left," she said. She recounted an incident at a Miami rental house where she claimed he pushed her down the stairs. She detailed times she was choked until she nearly passed out. And then she told the story of the Four Seasons Hotel. An after-party turned into a nightmare. Diddy reportedly became enraged after seeing her speak to another music executive. He dragged her through the hotel lobby while she cried. Hotel security saw it, but backed off when they recognized Diddy. The next morning, Cassie took photos of her injuries. Those were the images now burned into the jury's memory.
Just when the courtroom thought it had heard it all, Cassie disclosed even more. Celebrity witnesses, text from artists and producers who had seen Diddy's behavior firsthand. Messages that read, "What I saw tonight wasn't right," and "Call me when you're safe." Screens lit up with messages from some of Diddy's closest allies expressing concern, apologizing, offering shelter. These weren't anonymous sources. These were respected names in the industry. Then came Diddy's own texts. Apologies after violent nights. Offers to buy silence. Desperate attempts to erase the past. By the time these were read aloud, several members of Diddy's entourage quietly exited the courtroom, leaving him visibly isolated. The empire he built over decades was now collapsing in real time, not from a business scandal, but from the truth finally having a voice. This trial didn't just expose the alleged misdeeds of one man, it sparked a broader reckoning.
For years, the entertainment industry enabled powerful men under the guise of genius. Cassie's testimony turned that spotlight onto hip-hop, a world where loyalty and silence often outweigh morality. Fans began to question the music they danced to, the moguls they idolized. The media, once complicit in building Diddy's image, now had to face the possibility that their narratives shielded a predator. It wasn't just a personal betrayal. It was cultural. Cassie's final words on the stand were simple. "I thought no one would believe me, but I had to try." And in that moment, the courtroom wasn't just a legal battleground. It became a symbol of reclaimed power. Cassie's voice, once muted by fear, rang out with undeniable clarity. As Diddy left court that day, surrounded only by lawyers and stripped of his supporters, the image was clear. The mask was gone.
The verdict may still be pending, but one truth was already clear. The man who once controlled everything had just lost the one thing he couldn't buy back: public trust. Sometimes justice doesn't come with a verdict. Sometimes it arrives with the courage to finally speak.